Every day I wake up, wake your ass up.
The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?
It's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, Jess Hilarious. DJ Envy is out today, but it's time for front page news with Mimi Brown. Good morning, Mimi.
Good morning, Charlamagne. Good morning, Jess. How y'all doing this morning?
Good morning.
Blessed, black, and highly favored.
All right, well, we're learning more this morning about a high-stakes move by the United States off the coast of Venezuela. Now, President Trump says U.S. forces have seized an oil tanker, and it's the latest sign of just how tense things have gotten between Washington and the Venezuelan government. Let's listen to what President Trump had to say.
As you probably know, we've just seized a tanker on the coast of Venezuela, large tanker, very large. Largest one ever seized, actually. And other things are happening, so you'll be seeing that later, and you'll be talking about that later with some other people.
What does that mean, they seized the tanker? What's in the damn tanker?
Oil.
Okay.
So, according to U.S. officials, the operation was led by the Coast Guard with Navy support. Teams were flown by helicopter from the aircraft carrier USS Gerald Ford, which has been positioned in the Caribbean for weeks. Now, video posted by Attorney General Pam Bondi shows the Coast Guard members rappelling onto the deck with their weapons drawn. Officials say the ship, called the Skipper, it has a long history of U.S. sanctions. It's been linked to illegal oil shipments tied to Iran and accused of operating as a shadow tanker, which means it's been switching names and hiding its location. Now, on this trip, it was carrying 1.1 million barrels of Venezuelan oil. Some of it bound for Cuba. Now, President Trump was asked in the Oval Office what he plans to do with that oil. Let's listen to what he had to say with that.
Well, we keep it, I guess. Well, you have to follow the tanker. But I assume we're gonna keep the oil.
So they being honest about this being about the oil now. Like, they've been acting like this is about drugs, but we know this is about the oil. So they just being honest about, doing these heists in front of everybody.
Well, it sounds like it, right? So U.S. officials say the goal is clear: to cut off the money fueling Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's government. And back here at home in the U.S., President Trump, he's turning up the pressure, saying this week that Maduro's days are, quote, numbered, and suggesting that land strikes could be next. Now, Venezuela's economy, it depends mostly entirely on oil. And the administration says the seizure, though, is part of a broader pressure campaign, from deploying those warships you were just talking about, Charlamagne, to launching strikes on boats the U.S. says are tied to drug smuggling. Now, Venezuela, they are calling the move international piracy and accusing the U.S. of trying to take its natural resources. And some members of Congress, though, they are now questioning how far this campaign is going and whether any parts of this may violate international law.
I mean, it sounds like a heist to me, but I don't know what's lawful. I don't know what's legal anymore. I don't know what's unconstitutional, because the media's approach to a lot of this is just reporting it. Like, none of it feels normal, but when I'm watching the news and they're debating whether this stuff is correct or not, I'm just sitting there waiting to find out. And I don't never seem to find out.
Mm-hmm. And it feels like with the Trump administration, the lines are so blurred now that it's hard to know the difference, right? And speaking of knowing the difference, President Trump, his new gold card immigration program is officially live. It's a fast-track green card with a pathway to citizenship, but only for people and companies who can pay steep fees. So individuals must pay $1 million and businesses must pay $2 million per foreign worker. Now, Trump says the money will go straight to the Treasury and could bring in billions of dollars. Now, this would replace the old EB-5 investor visa, which required creating U.S. jobs, and that gold card would drop that rule entirely. So unlike the old program, there's no limit to how many visas can be issued. If you have the money, then you can buy it. And for anyone wondering how long that $1 million gets you in the country, well, the gold card, it will work like a green card, which means it will allow you to live and work in the U.S. permanently. But after about 5 years, you can apply for citizenship. And the U.S. says that it will help boost companies and keep graduates from schools whose visas force them to leave after graduation. But critics say it highlights a contradiction, cracking down on immigration on the border while opening a fast lane for the wealthy. But Trump says the goal is simple: to bring in the best people and raise revenue for the country.
Once again, I don't know what's lawful. I don't know what's legal. A president can just create a gold card and profit off selling citizenship?
Like, what? That is so crazy.
Where does that money go? Who keeps that money? Clearly Trump, right?
Well, he said it goes to the Treasury and would go back into the economy. That's what he says would happen. So we will see with that. All right, y'all. Well, coming up at 7, SZA is taking on the White House, why one of her songs is now at the center of a political fight. We'll break it down.
All right, get it off your chest. Thank you, Mimi. Now it's time for Get It Off Your Chest, 1-800-585-1051. If you want to call up and tell us why you're blessed, if you want to call up and tell us why you're stressed, you can do both of those things right now. It's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. Yes, it's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, Jess Hilarious. DJ Envy is off today, but it's time for Front Page News with Mimi Brown. Good morning, Mimi.
Good morning, Charlamagne. Loren and Jess, how y'all doing this morning?
Good morning, girl.
Good morning, Loren.
Good morning.
All right, so we start this hour with growing backlash from some of the biggest names in music, and this time SZA is calling out the White House directly. So she's slamming the administration for using her song Big Boy in a pro-ICE video, calling the move evil and boring. The White House paired the viral track, originally a sketch from SNL, with footage of ICE agents making arrests, captioning the video, "We heard it's cuffing season." So if you're not familiar with the video or the song, let's listen to a little snippet.
It's cuffing season, and all the girls are laid on to get a big boy. I need a big boy, give me a big boy.
So that is the song that the White House chose to put behind an ICE immigration video. And SZA, she's firing back on X. She's accusing the administration of rage-baiting artists for attention. Her manager also weighed in, saying the White House was trying to provoke artists into spreading propaganda. Now, the White House, they also responded by thanking SZA, saying her criticism only brought more attention to ICE's work. And she's not the only artist speaking up. Last week, Sabrina Carpenter blasted the administration for using her hit Juno in another ICE-themed video, calling it evil and disgusting, and telling the White House to keep her music out of inhumane agendas. So now SZA, Sabrina Carpenter, they all join a long list of artists from Beyonce, Bad Bunny, Celine Dion, to just the Foo Fighters, who have all publicly told the Trump administration to stop using their music.
Yeah, I mean,
that's right.
The crazy part is that's all you can do. You can send them cease and desist. They don't care because I don't know if it's legal or not, but they definitely think the juice is worth the squeeze. It's just like when Republicans, use us in campaigns. Like, they use us out of context for that trans ad during, Kamala Harris's campaign. And then, here in New Jersey, the Republican that was running for governor used when I was questioning Mikey Sherrill, and she answered the question terribly. I mean, it's all fair game, I guess, but I don't know what you can do about it legally.
Do y'all think that stuff is even effective anymore? Because now you've seen people call them out so much, that don't mean that the person's really supporting that. Like, do people really believe SZA's with the White House?
You know how many people would be online talking about they use Charlamagne and Republican campaign ads? Do you look at the context?
You're different, Charlamagne.
What?
They've been thinking you was MAGA.
Yeah, but how am I MAGA? Because I ask a Democrat a question, they answer the question horribly, and then they get used in an ad for answering the question.
I don't know what it is about you, but baby, them Fox News people love you, and they love you.
And by the way, and Mikey Sherrill won too, by the way.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So to your point,
and so
I don't know.
Trump.
I don't know how effective it is.
It is that message.
But no, I feel what you're saying. I think they do have to come out
influencing.
and say, no, I don't approve of this, because people will run with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, absolutely. All right, well, now to Florida, where a story involving a Philadelphia youth program is getting a lot of attention and raising a lot of concern. Now, 8 players ages 13 to 15, they are now facing felony charges after deputies say they stole more than $2,000 worth of merchandise from a Dick's Sporting Goods over the weekend. Now, the team was in Florida for a national championship tournament when this happened. So investigators say surveillance video shows the group splitting up inside the store, with one group going to make a purchase while the other appeared to load unpaid items into a Dick's Sporting Goods shopping bag. Now, deputies say 3 teens walked out with the merchandise and they were stopped outside, while the other 5 were arrested inside the store. Now, Philadelphia's Juvenile Justice Center, they say that none of the boys had prior criminal histories, but the sheriff there in Florida, they released a surveillance video of the teens. They released that publicly and described what happened in what some are calling an unusual press conference. Let's listen to some of what the sheriff had to say.
Now, not only did they steal 47 items, but ostensibly they may have cost their team the championship and the football game, because I don't know if these all were starters or not, but I can tell you that we were finishers. We arrested them. and we put them in lockup. So when we notify the coach who is responsible for them, you would think he would be interested in holding them accountable and responsible. Instead, he goes to the deputies and begs them not to take these young men into custody. And then when we said no, then they go to Dick's Sporting Goods to the manager and said, "Oh, don't charge them, don't charge them." They were not taking bubble gum. They stole over $2,000 worth of products.
Well, these kids, they were in Florida for a football championship tournament. Their coach said that he knew something was wrong when he went to wake up the team for the morning prayer, and he realized that 8 of them were missing. Minutes later, he got a call for him to come to the store. He now says that he hopes that this moment will not define their future, but also serve as a wake-up call. Let's listen to some of what the coach had to say.
Not only surprised, but very disappointed. I just hope that these take this as a lesson learned, and realize that, like, actions have consequences, and actions also affect not just you, but those around you.
I agree with the coach, 100%. You know what I mean? I'm sure this won't be something that, stains their legacies, long term. But, yeah, they got to deal with the consequences of their actions.
Yeah. Well, the boys will now have to return to Florida to face charges, including felony retail theft and conspiracy to commit retail theft. So we'll see what happens. Again, they were 13 to 15 years old, and they're now back in Philly, but we'll have to return back to Florida soon to face those charges.
What do you do when you see somebody shoplifting, Mimi? Like, if you was in the store right now and you saw somebody shoplifting?
Mind my business.
Exactly.
I know that's right.
I do too. I be like,
I know that's right.
I actually be like, God bless them. I hope they don't have to continue doing that, and then I go the other
I
way.
start stealing with them.
That happened to my wife yesterday. She was like, I'm in the store right now, and these girls are in here stealing like crazy. I'm like,
It's the holidays.
It is.
Yeah. People be needing. I mean, that's a bad thing to do, but there are people who don't have any other way, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that the right way to think about that? My grandma just told me be careful what I say.
And then, Lauren, remember, and Mimi, I don't know if y'all did this out in LA, but remember all the boosters?
What you mean, remember all the boosters? You was one.
I know, but I'm not no more, y'all.
Talk about remember all the boosters.
All the boosters?
Yes, I remember the boosters.
I remember them, and they don't barely exist no more. They don't retire.
I'm like,
They got tired of shoot.
I was the top booster. I was the one stealing all types of shit for niggas' baby mothers in the hood.
Lord have mercy. What else we got,
I
Mimi?
was the aunt that would buy from you.
All right. Let me start by asking y'all a question. When is the last time you made a new friend? And I mean an actual friend, not someone that you follow on Instagram and never speak to again. Lauren, I'm going to ask you, when is the last time you made a new friend, like a real friend?
Probably when I started working here. That was like my last group of real new friends.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Jess, what about you? The last time you made a real friend?
Same.
Aw, y'all are so sweet. Okay.
I'm sad because I lost a lot of friends. So, it feels good to make new ones, but I don't have any now.
Well, nearly 40% of Americans say they haven't made a new friend in over a year. They say that it's because the average person, they don't have the time anymore, and it just gets work, school, everything gets in the way. And they say it doesn't stop there. And when you do have those friends, the average person only spends one-on-one time with their existing friend about 7 times a year. And that's not even once a month. So researchers say a lot of this traces back to the pandemic. People got used to staying home. And for many, they don't use that social muscle anymore. And it hasn't fully bounced back. So people say that people want connection. They're just out of practice. So they suggest group activities, trips, classes, game nights, an easier way, a low pressure way to rebuild those friendships. So if you've been feeling like your friend circle isn't growing or even reconnecting feels tough, the numbers say that you aren't alone. Just 1 in 4 Americans say that they've made a new friend in the past year. So
when the last time you had a new friend?
I don't know. I'm good with the 3 friends that I have.
I know that's right. Charlamagne. Where are your friends?
I don't know, man. I don't really know.
A real friend is different than just meeting people. You talk to people every day.
I meet mad people every day, but friends are the people that you talk to for no reason, and you spend quality time with. I don't freaking know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to make friends as an adult. I think that's the whole premise of the study, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can make them when you're kids, but as an adult, it's hard to find quality people.
Yeah, and you might be an adult who had friends for a long time, and then they just start getting weird.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Go ahead, get it off your chest.
I don't got nothing to get off my chest. My life is great.
Right, but what he said was definitely right. You had friends since a child, like people that you grew up that, or not even grew up with, but just like you've been knowing for 20 years, your whole adult life, and then they just start getting weird and acting stupid, and then they don't appreciate you. Then they looking at, that's
Jess,
it.
you get off your chest too.
Yeah, Loren.
Yeah, it's a whole
friends are
therapy
great.
session. All right, y'all. Well, that is your front page news. I'm Mimi Brown. Follow me at Mimi Brown TV for more stories. Follow the Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app or visit BINnews.com.
Thank you, Mimi, for triggering me. Thanks.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm so sorry, girl. I feel bad.
Mimi triggered everybody and said, it's like a whole therapy session. Okay, bye. Y'all ain't my friends.
Right, and then we'll say I'm cool with the free friends. I'm cool with the free friends I got. I'm good. I don't know about y'all. Damn.
But thank you, Mimi.
All right, y'all welcome. Bye.
Hold up. Every day I wake up, wake your ass up. The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?